The Precious Scars was a terrible exotic when it first came out, but after a rework, this helmet has become one of the best team support exotics to pair with the new Void subclass, and in today's build video, I'm going to show you why. Hello my fellow weirdos, how are you today? I can almost guarantee most of you have the Precious Scars sitting in your vault collecting dust, and it's probably one of the last exotics you think about. But today, I'm hoping to change your mind with a little ability spamming. Okay, it's a lot of ability spamming, non-stop healing, and all the team support a fragile little hunter could ask for. I'm joking, you know I love my hunter friends. But before we get started, I have to give a big thank you to Jimbo Limbo and the Gecko because they were the inspiration behind this build. This is a community-driven channel, and I try my best to include everyone any which way I can. So if you end up liking this build, thank those two in the comment section, and thank you. The first thing we need to talk about is the Precious Scars itself, because how do we make a build without talking about it? When the Precious Scars came out, it was an absolute turd, and if I remember correctly, the healing wasn't working either, but after the rework, this thing has become one of my top exotics. The exotic perk is called Kintsugi. Final blows from a weapon matching our subclass type creates a 60 HP burst of healing in a 15 meter radius around us. This burst also applies to our teammates and on revives, as you can see here. The revive healing is great, but seems to be very situational and more suited for things like trials or harder endgame PvE content when a teammate dies in a bad spot. But that's okay. We're more interested in the passive healing it grants while using weapons matching our subclass, and that's because of how consistent it is. I do need to mention that there is a small cooldown on the healing burst, and I wish I can give you an exact number, but it was hard to maintain having low health without dying and using a stopwatch at the same time. It's somewhere around a 4-second cooldown in between bursts. The Kintsugi perk works with any subclass and matching weapon combo you can think of, but there's no denying that the Void subclass is one of the best support classes in game because of how well it synergizes with our teammates. The goal was to make sure we get the most out of this all-in-one build by covering everything from damage buffs and debuffs to constant healing and overshields, regardless if we're playing solo or with a fire team. To accomplish this, we're going to use the Sentinel. My first thought was the bubble, but then I started thinking more along the lines of raids and other endgame content. We can't beat the 40% damage buff for our teammates from the banner shield or the ad clearing capabilities that the Sentinel provides, if we're solo. Because this is a jack-of-all-trades build, the two aspects that fit perfectly with this are Controlled Demolition and Bastion. The volatility from Controlled Demolition is an ad-clearing monster that heals us and our teammates for 90 HP when we use volatile rounds or the enemies explode from abilities. And Bastion gives everyone around us a 45 HP overshield when casting our super or dropping a barricade. For the fragments, I was somewhat all over the place about which ones to use, but then I realized the best way to help our team is by helping ourselves with ability spamming. Plus it's just fun. So to further drive this team synergy, we're going to use the fragment Echo of Leeching, because it immediately starts health regeneration for us and nearby teammates for melee final blows. And since Echo of Leeching is based on us using our melee, two fragments that complement it are Echo of Exchange and Echo of Provision for bonus grenade energy from melee final blows and melee energy from grenade damage. I do recommend using the Shield Bash and Vortex Grenade for this, because the Shield Bash hits harder, suppresses targets, and creates an overshield around us, and the Vortex Grenade lingers. The longer an enemy stands in our grenade, the more melee energy we receive from Echo of Provision. When it comes to the armor mods, I found that less is better, because the focus was ability spamming and team support without having to min-max our Guardian or worry about setting up a certain situation to make it work. I wanted this to be easy for us, since our job with this build was to carry our team. The 5 mods that stood out to make this possible are Melee Wellmaker to drop wells from charged melee kills, Elemental Ordnance to create wells from grenade final blows, Reaping Wellmaker to drop wells after using our barricade and then getting a weapon kill, Bountiful Wells for even more wells, and Volatile Flow to give our void weapons volatile rounds for picking up all those wells. These 5 mods accomplish 3 things without any outside help or having to play a certain way. They consistently feed us ability energy because of the amount of wells that drop from barriers, melees, and grenades, and in return, this gives us more barricades and melees to give everyone overshields. They keep Volatile Flow going consistently to heal us and our team from the volatile rounds paired with Controlled Demolition, and every well we drop also drops for our team to give them more ability energy regardless of their build or subclass. If our teammates equip Well of Tenacity, they will become a tank with us. And depending on what your stats look like, let's hope they don't look like mine, or how much ability spamming we want to do, some great minor mods that complement this build are Ashes to Assets or Hands-On for bonus super energy from grenade or melee kills, Focusing Strike on the arms for class ability energy for melee damage, and Outreach on the class item to reduce melee cooldown when using a class ability. Another great mod to use is Thermal Shock Plating to reduce incoming solar and arc damage, and if we equip it on a Void chest piece, we can also equip a Void damage resistance mod as well. Normally, I try to leave these builds open-ended, and I usually don't recommend specific weapons because I love the creativity this community has. But in this situation, there are a few weapons and perks that we just can't pass up for this team-oriented build. The Funnel Web is one of the best ad-clearing weapons in game right now because of how well it synergizes with the Void subclass. But what makes it special in our case is how well it works with the volatile rounds, controlled demolition, and the precious scars. This combination of aspects, mods, and the exotic makes us and our team almost unkillable as long as they stay close by. For the heavy, I recommend the Tractor Cannon because it benefits from the Precious Scars healing, volatile rounds, and it applies that 30% debuff to the enemies for the whole team. A good weapon perk to try out is the Firing Line because it grants a 20% buff to precision damage when near 2 or more allies, or the Land Tank Origin trait for plus 10 resilience and a 5% damage reduction after a kill. We all know I have made some very odd and even some okay builds in my Destiny career, but this is by far one of my favorites because of how easy it is to use, the simplicity of the mods, the team support or solo play, and the ability spamming regardless of what your stats look like. I will leave the Destiny Item Manager link in the description for you. Thanks, Rolando. Give it a try and let me know what you think or what you tweaked on it. If you found this video helpful, a like would be awesome, but more importantly, be true to yourself and be good to one another. Thank you!
Take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.